In the ancient traditions of inner cultivation, simplicity holds great power. Just as one drop of water can polish stone over time, one small action can change the entire course of your life. Just one spoon before bed. This is not about the spoon. It is about the discipline, the intention, and the transformation that begins when you choose to care for your body, even while you sleep. In every great teaching, whether passed down through the monasteries of the East or the ancient halls of the West, one truth echoes consistently: that mastery is never the result of a single moment of brilliance. Instead, it is the consequence of many simple acts done with full attention, repeated without drama, and honored with patience. The path to self-mastery, to strength, to clarity, and ultimately to peace is carved not by intensity, but by consistency. This is the foundation of small rituals. We live in a world that is obsessed with the grand. We celebrate overnight transformations, glorify sudden success, and expect results in days rather than decades. Yet, look to nature. No tree rushes to grow. No mountain appeared overnight. Even the ocean, vast and mighty, was filled drop by drop. The same principle applies to the cultivation of the human spirit, the development of the body, and the awakening of discipline. It is never about the dramatic change. It is about the silent repetition of meaningful actions. The small spoon before bed, a single, simple action, represents far more than a physical habit. It represents the beginning of alignment. There is a quiet power in doing one small thing with great awareness. The spoon becomes a mirror. It reflects your commitment to growth. It reveals your readiness to serve something higher than comfort. And it becomes a gateway, a doorway into the dimension of mastery that cannot be bought, inherited, or faked. Every time you take that small spoon, not because you feel like it, but because you have chosen it, you move closer to your ideal self. Most people think transformation is hard because they try to do everything at once. They try to change their diet, their sleep, their training, their mindset, and they try to do it in a weekend. They forget that the body resists chaos. The mind, when overwhelmed, rebels. True change is not born in noise. It is born in rhythm. And rhythm begins with a single beat, a single ritual. The spoon before bed is not just about muscle repair or nutrients. It is about creating rhythm in your life, where before there was disorder. One act, done with calm, done with trust. That is how the body learns. That is how the mind follows. We are creatures of habit, but habit alone is not enough. We must elevate the habit into a ritual. A habit is mechanical. It can be done with a distracted mind. But a ritual, even the smallest one, becomes sacred when you pour your attention into it. A ritual is when you take that spoon with reverence, not just routine. When you see that moment, that action, as a seed you plant each night, and even though you cannot yet see the tree, you water the soil anyway. That is trust, that is awareness, that is discipline. Ask yourself, what else in your life are you overlooking simply because it seems too small to matter? Are you waiting for a perfect moment to begin while ignoring the quiet invitation to just start? Now, here, with what you have? One of the greatest illusions the mind creates is that meaningful change must feel dramatic, that the moment must be grand. But often the most important decision is the quiet one, made in silence, with no applause, just you, your commitment, and a small act repeated until it becomes part of who you are. In the training halls of the Shaolin Temple, students spend years performing the same movements over and over. A single stance, a single breath, a single strike. Why? Because the essence of mastery is hidden in repetition. You cannot skip the basics and expect to master the advanced. You cannot build strength on a shaky foundation. That one spoon before bed, it might look insignificant to someone who does not understand, but those who walk the path of mastery know the act is not small. It is concentrated power. It is the seed of all greatness. There will be nights when your mind resists, when it says, "This won't make a difference, skip it, one night doesn't matter." But this is the test. This is where your future is decided, not on the easy days, but on the days when it is hard to show up. When your discipline is stronger than your desire for comfort, you grow. And growth, real growth, is not always visible right away. It accumulates, like water wearing away stone. The body heals in silence, the muscles rebuild while you sleep, and the strength you gain from this ritual is not just physical. It is mental. It is spiritual. Consider what it means to truly live with awareness, to be fully present in the act of preparation, to open the jar, to stir the contents, to measure the spoon, to take it with gratitude, not rushing, not distracted, but with full attention. In this moment, the ordinary becomes sacred, the mundane becomes meaningful, and you begin to train your mind not just to act, but to act with presence. This presence will carry into your training, your conversations, your work, your rest. One act of attention becomes 1,000. One ritual done with care shapes your entire day. Why does this matter? Because most people live on autopilot. They eat without awareness. They speak without thinking. They train without listening to the body. And then they wonder why they feel disconnected, tired, uninspired. The answer is not more noise. The answer is silence, stillness, simplicity. When you create a ritual, even as simple as a spoon before bed, and do it with full awareness, you begin to wake up. You return to yourself. You remember that the body is a temple, that your actions carry energy, that your life is a reflection of what you do consistently, not occasionally. In this one small act, you reclaim control, not over the world outside, but over the inner world, your thoughts, your habits, your direction. When you honor the ritual, you honor yourself, and the self that is honored grows stronger. You are saying, I choose discipline over distraction. I choose intention over impulse. I choose evolution over excuses. These choices matter. They shape who you become, and who you become shapes what you experience in this life. Do not underestimate the power of preparation. Before the battle is won, the sword must be sharpened. Before the body grows, it must recover. Before strength appears in form, it must be forged in rest. And before rest becomes restorative, you must set the intention. The spoon is that intention, that bridge between your conscious effort and your subconscious transformation. What you do before sleep, the last energy you give your body, tells the body what to focus on while you rest. Are you telling it to rebuild or to react, to repair or to survive, to evolve or to erode? This is why the ritual matters, because sleep is not just recovery, it is programming. Your body listens, your cells respond. The body does not ask what you believe, it asks what you consistently do. Your actions write the code, your rituals give the commands. One spoon before bed, simple, silent, powerful. The moment you commit to this, you are no longer relying on willpower. You are now carried by rhythm, and rhythm is stronger than motivation. Rhythm is what musicians live by, what warriors move by, what monks breathe by. Rhythm is the language of life. Let this small ritual become your rhythm. Even when you travel, even when you are tired, even when you are tempted to say, it doesn't matter, especially then, because each time you show up, you affirm your alignment with your goals. Each time you take the spoon, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. And if you can master the small, you will be trusted with the great. Life rewards those who show they can be faithful with little. No one sees you doing this, no one claps, no one rewards it, but that is what makes it pure. It is your private discipline. It is your personal contract. It is a whisper to the universe that says, I am ready to grow. And the universe responds, not with noise, but with opportunity, with clarity, with strength that seems to come from nowhere. But it didn't come from nowhere. It came from the quiet discipline you practiced when no one was watching. And so I invite you to see beyond the spoon, to understand that the action is symbolic. It is a metaphor for every small decision in your life that seems too unimportant to matter, and yet these are the bricks that build the temple, the grains that form the mountain. The minutes that shape the hour, that shape the day, that shape the life. Pay attention to what you repeat, to what you feed your body, to what you do in the quiet moments. That is where the path begins. When you embrace the power of small rituals, you no longer wait for motivation, you become the source. You no longer react to life, you create rhythm. You no longer wonder how you'll get stronger. You live in a way that guarantees it. 1 spoon before bed. It sounds so simple, but in that simplicity lives a power that few understand. And those who do, walk a path very few ever see. In the pursuit of strength, many believe that power is only gained in motion. They chase progress through endless activity, assuming that the path to greatness is found only in doing more, pushing harder, moving faster. But this is not the way of balance. It is not the way of nature nor the way of the body. There is a deeper wisdom, one that whispers through the stillness and waits to be discovered. That growth, real growth, happens not in the moment of effort, but in the space after it. That healing, rebuilding, and rising stronger are born in the silence of recovery. And that recovery is not a weakness to be rushed through, but a sacred part of your evolution. To understand this is to awaken to a new level of respect for your body and your mind. Because what you do in the hours when you are not training, not working, not striving, those are the hours that determine whether the effort will yield anything at all. It is easy to glorify the sweat, easy to glorify the grind, but those who walk the path of mastery know the most powerful transformations happen in the unseen hours. They happen when the body is still and the mind is at peace. When you take that 1 spoon before bed, you are not feeding the body in that moment. You are sending a message, a signal to your system that says, I am ready to rebuild. I am prepared to honor the next phase of this cycle. Because effort is only half the equation. What you do to recover, how seriously you take your rest, how intentionally you prepare your body to heal. That is what decides whether your efforts will endure. Recovery is not passive. It is not what happens when you do nothing. Recovery is active. It is an internal process. And just like a fire must be carefully tended after it has burned bright, your body must be supported after it has been pushed. You would not sprint endlessly without stopping to breathe. You would not shout forever without pausing to listen. So too, you must not train endlessly without offering the body its rightful space to renew. There is a quiet intelligence within your system. Every time you train, you break down tissue. You create microscopic damage. And that damage is not the problem, it is the trigger. The body senses it and prepares to repair. But that repair can only happen in rest. It can only unfold when the right fuel is present, when the nervous system is calm, and when sleep, deep, undisturbed, and purposeful, is allowed to carry you. This is why the spoon matters, not for its size, but for what it represents. It is the beginning of the healing process. A sign to your body that you are cooperating, not fighting, supporting, not demanding. The sacredness of recovery comes from presence. You do not heal just because time passes. You heal when the right conditions are created, and you create those conditions with intention, with preparation, with small acts of care. The world teaches us to rush, to ignore the signals, to push even when we are empty. But the wise learn to listen, to pause, to respect the rhythm of effort and ease, tension and release, power and peace. These opposites do not compete, they complement. The inhale feeds the exhale. The night prepares the day. Stillness gives rise to strength. There is something sacred about preparing for sleep, about doing so not in exhaustion, but in awareness, about seeing sleep not as a shutdown, but as a sacred ceremony of renewal. The body is listening, the mind is adapting. While you sleep, hormones shift, muscles repair, tissues regenerate. This is not a passive event. This is a symphony of healing, and you are the conductor, even while unconscious. How you eat before sleep, how you breathe before sleep, how you think before sleep, all of this writes the code your body will follow through the night. You may not see the muscle growing as you lie in bed. You may not feel the repair happening. But know this, every quiet hour is an investment. Every night you recover well is a brick laid in the temple of strength. Every time you choose to prepare with care, through that one spoon, through calming your mind, through choosing rest over distraction, you are not slowing down. You are speeding your evolution. You are giving your body what it needs to do what only it can do. You are partnering with nature rather than resisting it. And that partnership is everything. You are not at war with your body. You are not trying to force it into submission. You are learning to listen, to support, to co-create. The training is your request. The recovery is your offering. And the results come not when you push hardest, but when you find harmony between action and restoration. And many warriors fall not because they lacked strength, but because they lacked respect for the pause. Many athletes burn out not because they trained too hard, but because they never recovered fully. The body speaks in sensations, in tension, in fatigue, and too often we silence these messages with pride. But strength is not the absence of rest. True strength is knowing when to push and when to step back, when to speak and when to be silent, when to act and when to let go. There is wisdom in slowing down, in creating a ritual before rest, in preparing the body gently, with presence, with gratitude. That spoon before bed becomes more than just nutrition. It becomes a declaration. I trust the process. I honor the recovery. I am willing to let go of control and allow my body to do what it is designed to do. In that surrender, there is deep power, not weakness, because it takes courage to stop, to trust, to give space. Some of the greatest healing happens in the dark, beneath the surface, beyond the reach of sight. And you will not always know when the shift occurred. But if you stay consistent, if you keep preparing, if you keep honoring the ritual of rest, you will rise one day stronger and not know when the change took root. But it did, because you showed up, because you respected the sacred pause. Every act before sleep is part of your training. Not just the lifting, not just the running, not just the hard sessions, but the quiet cup of tea, the mindful breath, the closing of the screen, the spoon taken not in haste but with intention. This is all training. And if you can master the art of recovery, you will become unstoppable, because you will no longer burn out. You will no longer crash. You will rise and rise, because your power will be cyclical, renewable, infinite, not linear, forced, or dependent on temporary willpower. Think of the great cycles of life. The moon waxes and wanes. The tides rise and fall. Even the sun rests in the night sky. Why then do we believe that we are above this law? You are not a machine. You are a living being, and your growth will come not in constant movement, but in conscious rhythm. Let recovery be part of your identity. Let preparation for sleep be as important as preparation for battle. And let that spoon be the symbol not just of a habit, but of a sacred commitment to the long game. This is how you last. This is how you build. This is how you evolve without breaking. By embracing the full cycle, by learning not only how to strive, but how to surrender. Not only how to fight, but how to flow. This balance, this dance between effort and ease, is where the deepest strength is born. So each night, as you prepare to rest, do not do it unconsciously. Do not see sleep as wasted time. See it as your sanctuary, your forge, your quiet temple of renewal, and honor it with everything you can, with calm, with stillness, and yes, with that one small spoon that says, I care enough to recover. I care enough to build wisely. I am not chasing strength. I am cultivating it. The warrior who knows how to rest will fight for decades. The athlete who honors recovery will grow year after year. And the seeker who respects the silence will hear the truths that are whispered only in stillness. Let your recovery be sacred. Let your rituals be honored. Let your sleep be a time of transformation. And let your strength come not just from what you do, but from how deeply you rest. Desire is easy. It arises like a flame in the wind, flickering, seductive but unstable. It wants comfort now. It wants the taste of sweetness, the warmth of laziness, the lie of ease. It whispers, just this once, and promises that it will be different tomorrow. But tomorrow is shaped by what we choose today. And desire, unguarded, will steal your strength. It will pull you off the path. It will tempt you into softness when your soul calls for steel. This is why we do not follow desire, we follow discipline. Discipline is different. It does not beg for attention. It does not seduce. It stands quietly in the corner, waiting for you to remember what you came here to do. It is the choice to return again and again to what matters. Not because it is easy, but because it is right. Discipline is not about harshness. It is not punishment. It is love in its most honest form. It is the act of caring so much about who you want to become that you are willing to do what is necessary, even when it is uncomfortable. There will always be moments when desire calls louder than discipline, when the comfort of skipping the ritual feels stronger than the quiet promise of keeping it, when you will want to say, one night off doesn't matter. One spoon missed won't make a difference. And maybe in isolation that is true. But no act is ever alone. Every act writes a line in your story. Every decision lays a brick in the foundation of who you are becoming. One act becomes two. A habit is either strengthened or weakened. You are always practicing something. The question is, what? Desire teaches you to live for the moment. Discipline teaches you to live for the mission. And missions are not fulfilled by feelings. They are fulfilled by values. Your desire may tell you, you deserve a break, but your discipline will whisper, you deserve the result. Which voice will you follow? Each night when you reach for that single spoon, not because it tastes good, not because it's exciting, but because you said you would, you are choosing to honor discipline over desire. And that choice, simple as it seems, is revolutionary, because in a world that chases quick fixes and instant gratification, you are walking the path of patience, the path of mastery, the path of the few. We do not become strong by listening to our emotions. We become strong by mastering them, not by suppressing them. No, emotions are messengers, not enemies, but by choosing which voice gets to steer the wheel. If every time you feel tired, you quit. If every time you feel bored, you stop. If every time desire tells you to postpone your growth, you listen, then your life will be ruled not by purpose, but discipline reclaims the throne. It returns power to the part of you that is steady, clear, unmoved by mood. You do not need to feel like doing something in order to do it. In fact, the very act of doing it when you don't feel like it is what transforms you. That is the weight that builds character. That is the fire that tempers resolve. This is what the monks train, the ability to act not from impulse, but from principle. And every time you practice this, you are not just getting stronger, you are remembering who you truly are. There is a difference between what is urgent and what is important. Desire screams for the urgent, pleasure, destruction, escape. Discipline serves the important, health, strength, clarity. When you choose to take that spoon before bed, you are not serving the urgent, you are serving the important. You are aligning your actions with your higher intention. You are planting a seed, not for today, but for many tomorrows. And though the result may be invisible at first, over time that seed becomes a tree, that tree becomes shelter, that shelter becomes legacy. One small act done with discipline is worth more than 1,000 done with emotion. Because discipline endures. It does not fade with weather. It is not shaken by moods. It is rooted like the mountain. This is what makes the difference between those who wish and those who manifest. Wishing is the language of desire. Action is the language of discipline. People often wait for motivation. They say, when I feel ready, I'll begin. But that day rarely comes. Motivation is the guest that may or may not arrive. Discipline is the one who never leaves. With discipline, you begin whether you feel ready or not. And often it is through the act of beginning that the readiness appears. Action leads emotion. That is the secret most never discover. It takes no discipline to do something once. The true test is repetition, showing up over and over, regardless of how loud desire becomes. It takes practice to say no to the comfortable and yes to the meaningful. But every time you do, you strengthen the muscle of commitment. And that strength carries into every other part of your life. The way you do one thing becomes the way you do everything. You are not just building muscle in your body, you are building integrity in your soul. And integrity means wholeness. It means that your actions match your values, that your behavior reflects your vision, that you can trust yourself because you do not negotiate with excuses. Every time you honor your word, even in something as simple as taking one spoon before bed, you prove to yourself that you are someone who follows through, and that self-trust is priceless. The world is filled with noise, advertising, comparison, impulses, cravings. Everywhere you look, something is trying to hijack your attention, to pull you off course, to make you feel like what you are doing is not enough. But in the midst of that storm, there is one thing no one can take from you: your ability to choose your next step. And when that step is rooted in discipline, you become unshakable, because you are no longer being led by the world, you are being led by your own inner compass. Desire is loud, discipline is quiet. Desire is short-term, discipline is eternal. Desire says, I want it now. Discipline says, I want it always. And if you learn to pause, to breathe, to remember your why in the moments when desire roars, you give yourself the greatest gift: freedom. Because discipline is not restriction, it is liberation from the prison of impulse. Each night, as you prepare to rest, as you move toward that final ritual, the spoon, the stillness, the breath, you are not just closing a day, you are closing the gap between who you are and who you are becoming. That action is not small, it is symbolic, it is sacred, it is the choice to keep the promise you made to yourself, not because it's dramatic, not because anyone will see it, but because it's aligned. And there is nothing more powerful than alignment. When your thoughts, your actions, and your values point in the same direction, you move with clarity, you move with force, you move without friction. This is what discipline gives you: internal alignment. And from that alignment comes peace. Not the peace of inactivity, but the peace of knowing you are on the right path. We live in a world where many start but few finish, where many talk but few act, where many dream but few do. The difference is never talent, it is not intelligence, it is not luck, it is discipline. The simple, daily choice to do what needs to be done, not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. This is the warrior's code, the monk's code, the master's code. You may not see the results immediately, the muscle may not appear after one spoon, the energy may not surge after one ritual. But that is not the point. The point is to show up. The point is to keep the promise. The point is to live from principle, not pleasure. And when you do that long enough, the results cannot be denied. They emerge like the sun after a long night, inevitable, radiant. So when desire calls to you, when it says, take the night off, it doesn't matter, no one will know. Remember this, you will know. And what you know about yourself is the foundation of your life. Protect that, defend it, nurture it. Because when you truly live from discipline, you do not need to chase greatness. Greatness grows from within. There is a moment each day when the noise fades. The lights dim, the body begins to slow, and the world turns inward. It is not a moment you see, but a moment you feel, subtle, delicate, sacred. The day has given what it had to give, the mind has run its course, the body, tired yet waiting, enters the threshold of transformation. And in this quiet hour, the body listens, not to words, not to the outer world, but to the instructions it has been given all day long. Through your actions, your choices, your nourishment, and your intention. The body listens at night, and it does not lie. You may believe that progress happens during the work, during the movement, the lifting, the running, the sweating. But that is only one side of the coin. The other side, the side most ignore, is what happens when you rest. And not just any rest, but intentional rest. Rest that is primed with the right signals, the right chemistry, the right state of mind. Because your body is not simply a machine that shuts off at night. It is alive, aware, and working, especially when you sleep. Every night, your system shifts into a different gear, a mode of repair, regeneration, and rebuilding. Hormones rise and fall like tides, initiating deep cellular work. Muscles torn by effort begin to repair. Brain waves slow, cleansing the residue of thought. Organs reset. Tissues regenerate. This is not inactivity, this is invisible effort, a sacred choreography performed in darkness. And like any choreography, it must be cued. The cues come not from what you think, but from what you do, especially in the final moments of the day. That one spoon, a single act, simple in appearance, becomes the signal. It says to the body, we are preparing now. You are safe to let go. Here is the nourishment you need. Here is the peace you have earned. You may not think something so small carries weight, but the body does not measure size. It measures consistency. It listens not to volume, but to clarity. And when it receives that message, not once, not twice, but every single night, it begins to rebuild, it begins to trust, it begins to perform the work of transformation. Many people treat the night as an afterthought, a leftover space, a time to scroll, to escape, to collapse from exhaustion. But those who live consciously know, the night is not an end, it is a beginning. It is not when the work stops, it is when the deeper work begins. You do not control this work with willpower. You control it with preparation, with rhythm, with devotion. The body craves rhythm. It operates through cycles, circadian rhythms, hormonal rhythms, digestive rhythms, healing rhythms. And when you honor these cycles, when you stop treating sleep as a pause and begin treating it as a portal, everything changes. You do not go to sleep, you enter sleep. You cross into a realm where the body, free from external demand, finally has the chance to catch up, to process, to upgrade. And what does it need in order to do that? It needs safety. It needs silence. It needs stillness. It needs fuel, the right kind at the right time, not an overload, not confusion, not excess, but just enough. A small spoon, a consistent act, a reliable cue, taken with awareness, taken with trust. This is not about supplements, it is about signaling. It is about showing your body again and again that you are aligned with your growth, even when you are no longer conscious. At night, the conscious mind fades. The unconscious rises. This is not a weakness, it is a gift. Because during the day, we often get in our own way. We overthink, we doubt, we resist. But the body does not doubt. It only adapts. And at night, when you surrender the steering wheel, the body drives the transformation. Provided it has been given the map. That map is built from what you do in the hours before bed. This is why the body listens at night, not because it suddenly turns on, but because the distractions turn off. The external world goes quiet, the internal world gets louder. And in that space, your body begins to act on every signal it has received. If you have treated it with care, it will respond with strength. If you have filled it with noise, it will respond with confusion. The body is not neutral, it is honest. You may wake up one morning and feel different, lighter, stronger, clearer. And you may not be able to point to the exact moment it happened. That is because the work was done beneath the surface, the way water shapes stone, slowly, invisibly, yet inevitably. Night after night, the body listens, and night after night it adjusts. It heals, it builds. Do not underestimate the power of these invisible hours. Do not believe that because you cannot see the work, it is not happening. The deepest growth always happens in the dark. Seeds become trees before they ever break the soil. Muscles become stronger before you ever see the change. The body knows. It remembers, and it does not forget the rituals you keep. So keep them. Keep the stillness. Keep the spoon. Keep the breath, the winding down, the silence. These are not routines. They are instructions. They are languages your body understands. And when you speak this language clearly, consistently, gently, the body replies. It says yes. It says thank you. It says, I will take you further than you thought possible. There is an ancient intelligence inside you, one that does not need words, one that does not live in thought. It lives in rhythm. It lives in rest. It lives in repair. And every time you honor it, not with intensity, but with subtlety, you align yourself with a power greater than discipline alone. You align with nature, with evolution, with truth. You cannot force growth. You cannot rush healing, but you can create the environment where these things happen naturally. That is the purpose of the nightly ritual. That is the purpose of the spoon. To send a message not just to your body, but to yourself. I am committed to the long path. I am not here for temporary change. I am here for lasting transformation. And transformation is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is cumulative. It is built one night at a time, one quiet act at a time, one respectful choice at a time. You are not just feeding your muscles. You are feeding your evolution. You are not just aiding recovery. You are participating in a sacred process. Most people are asleep even when they are awake. But you can choose to be awake even while you sleep. Not with thought, but with intention. Not with control, but with care. And when the body feels that care, it responds not out of obligation, but out of partnership. The mind may forget what it said yesterday, but the body never forgets what you did. It remembers every ritual, every inconsistency, every act of neglect, every act of love. And over time, those memories shape your experience. They shape your strength. They shape the way your body supports you. Not just in training, but in life. If you treat the body as something to dominate, it will resist. But if you treat it as something to align with, as something sacred, intelligent, and worthy of trust, it will reward you with more than strength. It will reward you with vitality, with clarity, with resilience. So give it that one spoon, not for the protein, not for the science, but for the symbolism, for the signal, for the steady, unwavering voice that says, we are still on the path, we are still committed, we are still listening. Because the body hears everything, and it listens loudest when the world grows quiet. If you want to change your body, change what you tell it at night. If you want to build strength, build trust. If you want to heal, stop rushing, start listening, start honoring, start preparing the night like it matters. Because it does. And when the morning comes, and it will, you will not just rise, you will rise ready. Ready not because of motivation, not because of hype, but because your body is carrying the results of your silence, of your stillness, of your care. The results of what you gave it, one small spoon at a time, in the hours when no one was watching and everything was happening